Now, Dutch dairy farmer and Nuffield scholar Heleen Lansink left New Zealand recently with a heightened appreciation of the differences between the roles of women in agriculture in this country and her home country, the Netherlands. Heleen lives and works with her husband Rogie and their 4 children on a dairy farm in eastern Holland, close to the German border. They've got 85 milking cows on 55 hectares. On her trip here, which took her around the world as well, she investigated the evolving role of the farmer's wife, partner, in her key position as a driver in the transition to sustainable supported agriculture. And she joins us now. Thank you so much, Heleen, for taking the time to join us on Sarah's Country. Welcome.
Good morning, New Zealand, from a rainy the Netherlands.
Oh, we like rain.
Yeah, we started out dry again this season, so I'm very happy right now seeing it outside raining.
Fantastic. Now, you tell us about how you've fallen in love with our country on your visit here.
Yeah, definitely fell in love, and also broke my heart because I was planning to a trip for 4.5 weeks. It's like a lot of time for a young mother of 4, and so I was planning to come back at the 1st of April, but due to the COVID crisis, I had to fly back after 2 weeks, and I had like an whole 2 weeks in front of me with all these beautiful appointments and visits. So I just arrived on Saturday on the southern island after I spent 2 weeks on the northern island. And then I decided on Sunday, well, I have to go back because they're shutting down airplanes and all kinds of things. So I was back after 2 weeks. But it was a tremendous 2 weeks, and I did see a lot. Probably didn't see enough, but I really like your country.
Tell us about some of the wonderful women that you did meet and what you learned about their trials and tribulations, challenges, but yet opportunities that they have faced in their career through the primary sector.
Yeah, my topic is about the role of the women, and I see an important role, especially in transition. I heard a little bit of the show in front, and I heard that we have like similar things on the plate of the board, so the pressure is high, and I see an important role for the women because in general it's like a sensitive subject, but in general we communicate better, we engage more to society, and that's I think what we need, because the problems are so big that we need society to help us solve all those loss of biodiversity, animal welfare things. We have some water, nitrogen problems, all kinds of things. So I was keen on looking for in which countries do they have it organized, or do they have networks, or do they educate or so. And I was really interested in New Zealand because I saw on the internet in front also that you have like the Dairy Woman Network, the Rural Woman Networks, and I think I was hosted by some kind of interesting people in New Zealand, because I was in the beginning I met Tracy Brown. Well, it's I think a perfect example for what I'm looking for, and if you can bring those women together and educate them and getting them as a real leader and train them to that, and giving them the stage where they can tell their stories, tell their difficulties, what's the regulation doing on what's the impact on the family farm and all kinds of things. It's very important. And it was really inspiring to meet Tracy, but also I visited Jenna Hogan, and that's, I think, the perfect example for what I'm searching for, because I fell in love with my husband. I did not fall in love with a farmer. I fell in love with my husband. So spontaneously, I became a farmer's wife. And so my background is not in ag business. But now I think, because I was a teacher, so I like to tell stories and educate and all kinds of, I can use those values into the ag business. And I think if we can search it more, and if you get programs on that kind of value you're adding to the ag business, and especially right now, because the pressure is so high. I think we have a lot of unused potential over there. And if you look at Jenna Hogan, I don't know if I pronounce it right.
This is the author of The Lean Dairy Farm.
Yeah. She wasn't working in the dairy sector, but she was like a lean, how do you say, a special
management specialist.
In the lean method. She added that method into the dairy sector, and look at her right now, how much value she's adding into the sector. So I think in the Netherlands, quite a innovative, how do you say it, innovative sector in the Netherlands, because we're the second largest country in the world on ag business. But we also have our problems, and we always, I think, mainly did it technical. We searched for solution on the technical way, and now I think it's more about the social things we have to solve, because otherwise we lose the license to produce. And that's a different kind of. It's easy if you look at technical solutions, because you can measure it and all kinds of things. The social impact, you cannot measure social impact compared to, the technical details. But we do need to go outside our ag bubble on the social field.
You're so right. Heleen, I'd just like to ask you, we opened up there about the differences between New Zealand and the Netherlands. I know you have a lot of smaller farms and the farming infrastructure is different. Could you tell us more about the attitudinal difference between the Netherlands and New Zealand in terms of the role of females in the sector?
Yeah, it's interesting because I was really, what I've seen gave me so much energy to do the same in the Netherlands, to start up a dairy woman network. But then I was thinking, well, if you are a female farmer in New Zealand, the cities and your sport aren't so close compared to the Netherlands. We are a small country with a lot of small-scale farms. I have everything on 2 kilometers on the bicycle. I can go to sport, I can go to the cafe, I can do my groceries. The cities and the society is way closer in the Netherlands compared to, for example, New Zealand or the US or Canada or something. So what do you see in the Netherlands is that if you marry into a farmer, you stay in your own job. And you're not going to work, or there is no place on the farm to work because the farms are smaller. But also it's not necessary. You can still drive to your job and to your work, and it's only a half an hour drive. And the kids are going to school and going to kindergarten, and it's all close. My sport is close. So your social life is close to the farm. So the urge of getting in a group together and share your feelings and your difficulties, I think it's not so high compared to like really rural areas compared to New Zealand. So I think the need for women to get off the farm is not so big because they are still going to off the farm. They still have their own jobs.
I've got a comment here that a lot of the major ag sector businesses, there's a high proportion of women that are in the finance side of these businesses. Have you come across that in terms of the corporate side of agriculture in the Netherlands?
Yeah, you see in the Netherlands, board members of boards, they have really difficulties to search for females to get into the board. But you see, like on the big corporation, for example, our Milkgoed to Friesland Campina, you see that they have like 50% male and 50% female. But in the communication from the corporation to the farmers, they only communicate with my husband and not with me. And I ask for a different kind of communication. For example, I make a joke about it, but I think it's serious. If we go to like a corporation meeting, afterwards, in the evening, you get like a big sandwich with a lot of meat. I don't like a big sandwich with a lot of meat in the evening. Well, that's so you need like a different communication, and I think they can go search for the women, because I did a little investigation. All the farmers' wives in the Netherlands are 50% owner of the farm. All the farmers' wives are, for mostly 90%, are involved with making big decisions. So the involvement in the company is big, is almost 50%. But when I asked the females, how many times are you going to agricultural meetings? They go only 0 to 3 times to agricultural meetings. When there is somebody coming into the farm for advice or something, nobody comes to visit the female. Always looking for the man. It's the same for me. They only thank me for the coffee and then they leave. Well, yeah. So I think there is a lot of unused potential, and I'm likely as you. I'm not a feminist, but I think there's so much unused potential that we can use, and as an ag sector, to communicate more with the women on the farms.
Absolutely. And the thing is, when they're 50% decision makers in charge of that checkbook, Helena, women will just vote with their pen or their dollar, won't they, in terms of how they've been treated. And hopefully things will change over time. But it's interesting there, just in terms of the size of the farm, the close proximity to urban population, and women having those jobs off farm, how much of a difference that can make in terms of that involvement, that diversity of thinking in those business decision making. So I congratulate you on your Nuffield topic, and what you've taken away from New Zealand has given us a wee humble chuff. And I know that there's a lot of men watching this that absolutely agree that a woman involved in our farm brings a different perspective, which is absolutely fantastic. So thank you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. It's the morning there in the Netherlands, and that's all we've got time for tonight.
This is Sarah's Country.